Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Beikai Star Master nodded. We know too little about them at the moment. First of all, we know that sector beasts are great at soul attacks, and secondly, we also know that they wield a power that is the opposite of godly power. Also, we know that although sector beasts fight and try to kill each other, when we show up, they'll work together to attack us. Eye Devil God and Illusion Heart True God were attacked by 3 sector beasts at the same time. Luo Feng and the others nodded. They realized that even though the sector beasts were trying to kill each other, when facing an enemy from the outside, they would cooperate and fight the outsider together. Then, 9 Remoteness True Master shook his head. It'll be difficult to kill them one by one. Luo Feng thought, both Hong and Eye Devil are great at illusions, and their willpower is at void space level. The true gods in Universe Ocean had their willpower at void space level after being trained in the world of Jin, but many are only at the true god level. If they only have willpower at the true god level, they'll suffer great losses. Some of the words were forbidden in Universe Ocean. Information about true gods of void space and those that were more powerful was concealed. We know too little about sector beasts, said 9-headed Devil Master anxiously. What skills do they have? How many are there? We don't know anything. Juhi True God nodded. Besides, the end of this universe era is approaching, said Divine Eye True Master. It might only take several trillion eras for it to come. According to the original mind, we have to end the sector beasts before this universe era ends. Otherwise, it'll be too late. The sector beasts were a source of worry to all the great beings in Universe Ocean. Even Luo Feng and Divine Eye True Master, who had been foes before, were friends now. With a common enemy, enmities could be erased in no time. I think we need to go to the residence of the sector beasts again, said Divine Eye True Master. Yes, we need to go again, and we need to get more information. Juhi True God was anxious. We must learn more about them. Then we can be more prepared and can plan better. Over the past trillion eras, Universe Ocean had been absorbing the inheritance from the ancient civilization, including some ancient techniques, machine-type valuables, and how to control them. The great beings in Universe Ocean had already reached their limit. Beings like Divine Eye True Master, Skeleton Master, and 9 Remoteness Master wouldn't be able to greatly improve themselves anymore, even if they were given another universe era. On the contrary, the sector beasts would only become stronger as time went by. It was time to fight. We need to form a team of true gods made up of those from Universe Ocean, Primal Chaos City leader said with a nod. We need to go to the Land of Darkness and learn more details about them so that we can make a better plan. Firstly, all the true gods in the team need to be powerful. Also, we need to acknowledge that it's going to be dangerous. We can't let this failure shake the foundation of Universe Ocean. Everyone nodded. Nobody actually knew how hazardous the Land of Darkness was. If half the 8 supreme beings were killed, even if they gained detailed information, it wouldn't mean anything. After all, the 8 supreme beings were the pillars of Universe Ocean. I'll lead, said Luo Feng. 1 true god from the first universe era, 1 true god from the second true god, and 2 true gods from the original universe era. We'll form the team like this, and I'll also join. There will be 5 of us. Including Luo Feng, 3 came from the original universe. It was to be expected, since the number of true gods from the original universe was much larger than that of the first and the second universe era. Okay. Milky Way Horde leader is leading this time, so there'll be no problem. Milky Way Horde leader will be able to find the mysteries behind this. Juhi True God, Divine Eye True Master and Skeleton Master were all pleasantly surprised. Luo Feng was the most powerful being in Universe Ocean. If he couldn't find out anything, nobody could. Luo Feng nodded. He was a universe master with several bodies. Even if one of his bodies was annihilated, it could be recovered soon. For the past trillion eras, his willpower had already reached the level of an eternal true god, and practicing godly king technique was highly rewarding. He also had a giant godly body and was the most powerful being in Universe Ocean. He wasn't afraid of the home of the sector beasts. Divine Eye True Master, Juhi true God, go back and talk to the great beings from your universe eras, said Luo Feng. One true God from each universe master, and they must have strong willpower. Both Divine I True Master and Juhi True God nodded and answered. Sure. No problem. Many true gods will be honored to go with you. Over the previous trillion eras, Luo Feng had become more and more powerful. After practicing Divine Eye technique, Luo Feng could now intimidate true gods with a single glance. All of them venerated Luo Feng, and they also knew that his power would be beyond imagination once he became a true god. After this meeting, they now had a basic plan for how to deal with the sector beasts. The 8 supreme beings soon separated. Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City leader, and 9 Remoteness Master flew back to the original universe. 9 Remoteness, said Luo Feng. We need 2 more true gods from the original universe. 1 from the Ancestral God School and 1 from the Space Beast Alliance. Will that be a problem? No problem. 9 Remoteness Master nodded. The Ancestral God School and the Space Beast Alliance also had many true gods. But you need to be careful as well, said 9 Remoteness Master. That's the residence of the sector beasts, which forces the original mind to use so many methods. That's right, said Primal Chaos City leader solemnly. Don't underestimate those sector beasts. Remember Huge Axe? Luo Feng nodded, I know it. I'll send my Mosha body there this time, so nothing will happen. Primal Chaos City leader relaxed. Mosha body was an energy-type creature, and it didn't have a soul, so soul attacks were useless against it. Besides, Luo Feng could also reach the 2nd level on his energy-type lives, and Mosha body was 100 million kilometers tall. Such a large godly body was much bigger than Hong or I Devil God, so there was nothing to be afraid of. This time, Luo Feng thought. When all 3 universe eras select their champions, I'll need to go talk with my teacher. Luo Feng knew that true gods belonged to different races, and it would take them some time to decide who was going. Land of Darkness in the core area of the remote tilted peak sector. There was black mist tumbling on the edge of the Land of Darkness. There hadn't been so much before, but with time going by, it was growing denser and denser. A streak of black light shot out of the Land of Darkness. Then it slowed down and stopped. It was a giant monster emitting black light from every inch of its body. It had 2 ferocious heads, and on each head was a single eye, a nose, and a mouth. It had 1 pair of arms and 1 pair of legs. It was completely naked, and wicked force permeated from every part of its body. The singular eyes on each of its 2 heads glanced around. Its body bore dozens of injuries, and black blood seeped from its veins. Suddenly, its first head opened its mouth, and its tongue extended. It swept across its body like a giant beam of light, licking every wound on its body. Di! The hideous black monster bellowed and roared. I am the ultimate king, I am. You rigged the system, which is why you're stronger. You want to kill and eat me? Just wait and see, it's not going to be that easy. Last time, 2 dishes of food were at our door. Those 3 idiots were so stupid that they let the delicious food get away, the ugly monster whispered. Di, perhaps I can't beat you in our nest, but other than eating other sector beasts, I can also devour delicious food to strengthen myself. I'll go to the world where the delicious food lives, and I will keep eating it non-stop. I'll get stronger, and when I come back, I'll outmatch you. The sector beasts in our nest are all wicked, and they won't let you eat them like that. The food outside is much easier to acquire. When I come back, I'll be stronger than you. Then I'll eat you and all the others. I'll be the ultimate king. It flew out toward the endless waves where a large boat floated. As the black light flew toward it, 2 towering beings flew out. My king, said Jinjur Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God. The hideous monster stopped and looked down at the 2 true gods. It stared at them for a moment. Then, it suddenly changed its shape. It changed from a hideous monster to an enormous humanoid creature which had a giant tail on its back, simulating some of the characteristics of Jinjur Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God. At the same time, it also permeated godly power. Look. Do I look like your kind? Asked the sector beast. Yes, you do, answered Jinjur Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God. They referred to every sector beast they saw as king. All the sector beasts were deranged, and each one thought he was the best. "I need detailed information about Universe Ocean," said the sector beast. "Tell me about all the great beings in Universe Ocean." Zhenjiao Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God looked at each other. This sector beast was going to Universe Ocean? They were exhilarated. They had been repressing their desires for too long. After Great Thunderstar Master died, they were the only two foes Luo Feng had left. Given Luo Feng's reputation, they didn't dare to go to the world of Jin, so they had neither the ancient civilization nor any machine-type valuables. And so, they had lingered here for all that time. Zhenjiao Emperor's voice sounded like the clashing of metal. The Universe Ocean of today is much stronger than before. This was because of the emergence of the fourth most dangerous land, the world of Jin. The world of Jin was a world left behind by the ancient civilization. It is where many living souls, true gods, and even higher existences of the ancient civilization could be found. The inheritance of the ancient civilization and automaton-type treasures all could be found in abundance in the world of Jin. The various groups of top powers from Universe Ocean have penetrated deep within the world of Jin to hone their skills and gain treasures. Their powers have improved tremendously. And among them, we need to be extremely careful of Milky Way Horde Leader Luo Feng. Milky Way Horde Leader Luo Feng? The sector beast looked down at the two true gods and asked, "This Milky Way Horde leader, what do we know about his background?" "He is a great being from the human race of the primal universe era, and he is a universe master," Zhenjiao Emperor said. "Ha ha ha. A universe master. Such fragile food. You all want me to be wary of him?" The sector beast burst out laughing. There was no reason for him not to laugh. He was a sector beast. A super life form bred by Universe Ocean. Even though he was currently only in his growth period, which was the true god stage, his power was certainly not lower than that of a universe master. Dragon Rock Ancestral God replied right away, "My dear respected Emperor, you must never, ever underestimate this Milky Way Horde leader." Previously, when the world of Jin had yet to appear, Great Thunderstar Master had already perished at his hands. Great Thunder was killed by him? The sector beast grew more wary and paid more consideration now. Unable to resist the temptation, the three true gods had decided to seek refuge with the sector beasts, yet they themselves were actually quite highly skilled individuals. A universe master who could kill a true god. And that was when he had just entered world of Jin. It was said that he had an extremely great encounter, Dragon Rock Ancestral God said in a hoarse voice. He once annihilated a few hundred universe masters from the United Forces Alliance and the Purple Moon Holy Land all at once, within a fleeting moment. There was no evidence, but later on, during the trillionth era, when there was provocation raised against the humans within the primal universe, all the advocators were ruthlessly punished by the humans. The various groups of top powers were all of one mind. Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng wielded great authority within the world of Jin. Dragon Rock Ancestral God went on to say, and the willpower of the primal universe origin also leaked out this information. Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng was a #1 master of Universe Ocean. Sector Beast was greatly appalled. He is just a universe master. How can he be the #1 master of your Universe Ocean? This is acknowledged by all, said Dragon Rock Ancestral God. Over the past trillion eras, he made multiple strikes, and every time he made a move, he always gained an absolute edge over everything that dared to provoke him by keeping them suppressed. Because he was so powerful, neither of us dared to venture into the world of Jin. Now, he is only a universe master. When he becomes a true god, he will certainly be a more horrifying figure. My dear respected Emperor, if you can exterminate him, then in the whole of Universe Ocean, there will truly be no one who can stand in your way anymore. Sector Beast fell silent. In the beginning, he had shown indifference and had placed no importance on this figure, but now, the name was etched in his memory, Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng. #1 master of the Universe Ocean. Is that so? Sector Beast said to himself. I, Morosa, shall not confront you head-on. I shall first feed myself well with delicious food, and when my powers become stronger, I will come and see for myself just how powerful you are. See if you are more powerful than Betty. At this moment, this sector beast, Morosa, had already set Luo Feng, a being whom he had never met before, as an opponent second only to Bedi. And Bedi was the greatest opponent he'd had to face in order to become the ultimate king. As for Luo Feng, he was the greatest obstacle hindering the sector beast from feeding on all the delicious fare it craved as he rampaged through Universe Ocean. First, I will kill and eat this dish called Milky Way. Then I will eat everything I can find within Universe Ocean and return here. Bedi, if I come back to see that you are already killed by other sector beasts, I will be so disappointed. The sector beast, Morosa, looked down at the two true gods. Tell me about the map of Universe Ocean. After a long time, having gathered enough information, sector beast Morosa now had a detailed understanding of Universe Ocean. Finally, he left the land of darkness, the nest of the sector beasts, and set off for Universe Ocean alone. Primal Universe. Amidst the vast, starry sky, a man in a white robe appeared and walked through the darkness of space. He headed straight for a red-hot star, a star that was already headed toward the end of the path. Within the star, blazing flames surrounded the core. But this core, on the contrary, exuded an endless coldness. A damaged ship was floating amidst the blazing flames, and the cold air kept all those flames away. An elderly man sat cross-legged, unmoving. In his hand was a stone. This stone had been smoothed by his persistent touch. Teacher. The man in white robe walked amidst the flames and soon approached this end of the ship from afar. Neither the flames nor the cold air had any influence on him at all. The elderly man opened his eyes and looked at Luo Feng. Going to the sector beast's nest. Aha! Luo Feng nodded. At this point, the great beings of Universe Ocean have mostly reached our limits. Even if we are given another trillion eras, it will still be difficult for us to increase our powers. Yet the sector beast's powers are consistently on the rise. We feel that we should not delay further. This time, my Mosha body will lead a small team over to briefly look into the situation and uncover more facts. Then we can better formulate our plan of action. Luo Feng also sat down, cross-legged, far across sitting mountain guest. Teacher, previously you told me to call on you before heading over. Luo Feng had always felt as though teacher sitting mountain guest hid himself behind a veil. Therefore, Luo Feng had never truly been able to see him clearly. First, I need to tell you something, sitting mountain guest said directly. Regarding some of the information that the willpower of the primal universe origin openly revealed with the help of the three ancestral gods. Part of it was true, but there are some parts that are not true. For instance, saying that the universe boat was created for the sake of dealing with the sector beasts. That is an absolute joke. Luo Feng was struck by a sudden thought. Teacher, you mean to say, the words of the willpower of the primal universe origin are not credible? No, sitting mountain guest replied. Killing a sector beast is certainly good for you all. The existence of sector beasts is mainly for the purpose of destroying. They are capable of destroying all kinds of miniature universes. So, of course, it would be right for you all to get rid of them in their early stages. Luo Feng frowned. Then, teacher, what you mean to say is, I want to tell you that, first off, this sector beast is an incomparably terrifying life form that the Universe Ocean gave birth to, sitting mountain guest said in a most solemn tone. Truly, it is terrifying. Within the entire Universe Ocean, there is one primal universe, and the sector beast takes up an opposing role against it. As for you countless life forms, you are all merely the byproducts of what the Universe Ocean bred. Speaking of the nobility of this life form alone, who can hold a candle to it? Luo Feng could not help but nod to indicate his agreement. Such a life form was, undeniably, highly noble. Of course, I am specifically referring to the final survivor after 1 billion sector beasts fight one another to death, sitting mountain guest said. This last one standing is the truly incomparably noble yet terrifying one. For now, there are still many of them, so the threat posed by one of them will not be great enough to eliminate your ability to resist. Also, this sector beast, as noble as it is naturally endowed with immeasurably high intelligence. Do you know, within the Universe Ocean, what is the least threatening to the sector beast? Luo Feng was filled with doubts. Least threatening? The primal universe, Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. The primal universe is almost harmless to the sector beast. Teacher, do you mean? Luo Feng's eyes lit up. He seemed to have an inkling about what his teacher meant. Sitting Mountain Guest laughed out loud as he said, when a sector beast attacks any miniature universe, it will definitely be met with retaliation. Regardless of whether it is the two Holy Lands or the various miniature universes, any attack made would arouse a frenzied retaliation from a large number of great beings. However, when it attacks the primal universe by itself is simply incapable of any form of resistance. It may have bred countless lives, and it may seem to possess an endless power, but it is unable to initiate attacks. Therefore, it could only passively withstand all the devouring by the sector beast. The primal universe origin is said to be vast and endless. Even if the sector beast feeds to its heart's content, or even until it is stuffed to death, it will never devour all of it. To a certain degree, the primal universe will still undergo self-destruction to return back to its origin, during which the sector beast will not be able to attack. However, the change between the birth and destruction of the primal universe is under the control of intangible rules. It cannot be destroyed at will. Before destroying it, a sector beast will devour as much of the primal universe origin as possible, causing fundamental damage. If all of you great beings combine your strength to create a form of deterrence, these sector beasts may give up on you for the time being and refocus all their attention on specifically dealing with the primal universe. After all, that is the greatest meal they could ever have. Luo Feng's eyes brightened further as he gained an understanding of what teacher was saying. This is why, Sitting Mountain Guest said with a laugh, the willpower of the primal universe origin told a lie. There were faint tremors in the surrounding space. A strong, oppressive force was spreading out, rocking and shaking everything in the surroundings. Luo Feng looked around. The flames of the star that were surrounding the broken ship were becoming distorted as they tremored. It was as though they would be extinguished at any moment. No need to worry, Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. The willpower of the primal universe origin has to adhere to the most fundamental universe laws. So long as you do not challenge any of those laws, it will not be able to do you any harm. It can only rely on help from other great beings. But within the universe, who could be your match? Luo Feng shook his head. If this was said before the other great beings, I could just brush it off. But before teacher, I am not that confident. No, Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. The willpower of the primal universe origin is not wrong in saying so. You are, indeed, number one in universe ocean. Regarding the sector beast, the willpower of the primal universe origin is lying because it wants you all to go out there to fight and kill. Actually, to the high and mighty willpower of the primal universe origin, whether or not all of you survive, does it really matter? It can always breed generations of reincarnation eras. Life and death were originally part and parcel of the development of nature. It is not the least bit concerned about your life and death. To it, its origin is of the utmost importance. After all, the moment its origin is injured, it might never be able to recover even after countless reincarnation eras. This is why you should not act as its weapon of choice so easily. You must learn how to reap some benefits from it. Benefits? Luo Feng frowned. The willpower of origin has given its promise, inheritance, treasures, or even the release of teacher origin. Everything is possible. Those are no benefits at all. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. Treasures and all. To the willpower of the origin, these are merely some of the countless treasures left behind since long ago. It has no use for them, so it was randomly tossing some over to you. As for releasing teacher origin, that poses no threat to it at all. That's why it was willing to do so. Luo Feng quickly asked, then what benefit should I ask for? The greatest benefit, Sitting Mountain Guest said in a most solemn manner. Combining one's consciousness with the primal universe origin. By doing so, one can personally experience what it is like when the primal universe undergoes a cycle of destruction and renaissance. First, you destroy the primal universe. Then you let the primal universe undergo rebirth. Combining one's consciousness with the primal universe origin, gasped Luo Feng. To personally experience destruction and renaissance. Luo Feng was taken aback. The very notion was incredible. No miniature universes can compare with the original universe, and not even the world of Jin can compare with the original universe. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng. Every one era of the original universe contains the ultimate mystery. Even if I want to get into the origin, the original universe won't let me do that. It would rather let Teacher Origin go than let you get the opportunities. However, between the threat of the sector beasts and giving you a great opportunity, I think it will make the best choice. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng. Actually, I envy you, but there's nothing I can do. Luo Feng was confused. He could sense that Sitting Mountain Guest meant to say something else. The accomplishments he had now, and the inheritance from Duandong River, plus the sealing task in the world of Jin, should have all been beyond Sitting Mountain Guest's expectations. These accomplishments empowered him greatly. Teacher, said Luo Feng. Huh? Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng. You created the Flame God race and the Earthlings, said Luo Feng. I never knew why you did that. I owe you so much, and I'll be forever grateful for you. If you want any help from me, I'll do anything to help you. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng and laughed. Look around, Luo Feng. Sitting Mountain Guest pointed around. Luo Feng looked around. The burning fire around this rugged boat was driven away by the cold. The fire was shaking as an invisible force enveloped the area. It was the force of the original mind. Apparently, the original mind had arrived and was angered by some of the things Sitting Mountain Guest had said, yet it couldn't do anything about it. The original mind has arrived. Some things I can say, but something is forbidden, which means even if I want to tell you, I am not allowed to do so. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng. Like in Universe Ocean, we can't talk about inheritance information above true gods. Luo Feng nodded. It's not that I don't want to tell you, but I can't tell you right now, whispered Sitting Mountain Guest. It has something to do with the ancient civilization, and it's about the biggest secret in Universe Ocean. I can only tell you when it is appropriate. When will it be appropriate? Asked Luo Feng. I'm very satisfied with your power now, but this is not the time yet. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. No need to ask, because I can't say, even if I want to. Luo Feng considered. The ancient civilization? The biggest secret in Universe Ocean? He had long speculated that Sitting Mountain Guest was related to the world of Jin. Then I'll just wait and see, said Luo Feng. Remember, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Don't underestimate the sector beasts. It's wise of you to send your Mosha body to the sector beast's nest. You haven't reached the peak of your power yet, but other true gods already have, and it's difficult for them to break through. Once you've become a true god, your power will surge again. Don't bet everything on it. You'll reach your peak when you become a true god. Luo Feng was shocked. According to his teacher, he wasn't able to kill those sector beasts yet. Go, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Remember, be careful. This is the fiercest war in Universe Ocean. Okay, said Luo Feng. He stood up, took a bow, and left. In Ancestral God Palace in the Ancestral God Secret Region, Luo Feng entered wearing a white cape. The guards didn't stop him, as they all knew who Luo Feng was. The three ancestral gods had said before that Milky Way Horde leader could enter at any time. Ancestral gods. Luo Feng walked into the palace, glanced around. The three ancestral gods sat on the thrones. After 1 trillion eras, the three ancestral gods from the Ancestral God School had already become true gods. After all, they were highly gifted, which was why they had been chosen to be ancestral gods, and besides, they were favored by the original mind. Now, many true gods were being born in the original universe, so it would be a joke if the three ancestral gods were still universe masters. I think the original mind knows my requirement now, said Luo Feng. Double face ancestral god side. Requirement. We don't know what your requirement is, but the original mind is a bit upset now. Do you still stand by your requirement? Yes, Luo Feng nodded. Upset. That had nothing to do with him. The original mind had suppressed Teacher Origin, the entire human race was upset. As Sitting Mountain Guest had said, There was no need to be afraid of the original mind, as it had to follow certain rules, and it needed Luo Feng to get rid of the sector beasts. Actually, when his consciousness entered the universe origin, it would be as if he was becoming the original universe, experiencing the destruction and rebirth. It sounded mysterious, but Luo Feng wouldn't blindly believe everything Sitting Mountain Guest said. After all, he needed to make an avatar to enter the land of origin. Once the original universe started to destroy itself, it could easily kill Luo Feng by attacking the avatars and killing his soul. This requirement had some risks. Luo Feng had said yes firstly because of one of the top 3 techniques of Duandong River, Undying River. After becoming a true god, he would complete Undying River and leave some blood behind as a backup plan. Even if he was attacked by the original universe and died, he could be resurrected. Of course, that was the worst-case scenario. That original mind needed to follow the rules, so if he didn't provoke it, he wouldn't be killed. Of course, if Luo Feng wanted to feel the birth and destruction of the original universe, he needed to wait until the end of the original universe. Only then would the original universe be destroyed and born again. It wouldn't destroy itself in advance because of Luo Feng. Besides, Luo Feng hadn't become a true god yet, so he didn't wish for the original universe to be destroyed. Since you insist. The ancient ancestral god looked at Luo Feng down in the palace. Even though it is very demanding, if you, Milky Way Horde leader, are really able to kill all the sector beasts and protect the original universe from being harmed, the original mind will not only let Teacher Origin go, but consents to your requirement. Of course, your requirement can only be met when this universe era ends. Everything the original mind consents to is bound by the operation law, so it won't deceive you. The voice spread, followed by a blurry ancient ripple, enveloping the entire palace, so it was spread to Luo Feng as well. I trust you. Luo Feng nodded. Each of the 3 universe eras needed to choose a venture to go to the nest of sector beasts. It was extremely dangerous, so nobody was willing to go. Why did I have to go? Why couldn't he go? I would be the only last hope of my race, so if I died, my entire race would die. There were internal discussions and compromises that would take several years or longer to be completed. It was as Luo Feng had expected. Compared to 1 trillion eras, a few years was a blink of an eye, so there was no need to rush anything. While the powers in Universe Ocean were selecting who would go, Sector Beast Morosa left Tilted Peak Sector. This is chaos air. There's no rich chaos air like this in the nest. It's everywhere. A giant, golden man with a tail stood amid the chaos air. He wore ancient armor, and his body shape looked perfect. His bloody eyes glinted ferociously. The sector beast looked around. He had assumed a shape that was typical in Universe Ocean, and he had godly power, so everyone would think he was a great being from a certain race in Universe Ocean. Sector Beast Morosa opened his mouth, and all the chaos air flooded in. Suddenly, everything around him became a black hole, and the chaos air kept flooding into his body. It only stopped after a whole day. So pleasing. Although devouring other sector beasts is still better, I can devour this air at any time. Sector Beast Morosa was very satisfied. There was chaos air in Tilted Peak Sector, but it was too thin to be significant. It's too slow just swallowing this chaos air. Sector Beast Morosa took a step and started to teleport. It started to tour Universe Ocean. With the map provided by Jinjiao Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God, it wouldn't get lost. Besides, there was a strong connection among all the sector beasts, so even if it did get lost, it would seek out other sector beasts. After half a month of touring Universe Ocean, the golden, towering sector beast Morosa was slashing his tail, standing in space, staring at a giant miniature universe in front of him. It had a diameter of 100 million light-years. It was enormous. Oh, so delicious. Sector Beast Morosa's eyes gleamed with madness. He gazed at the miniature universe in front of him with his tail whipping. He was thrilled. I can actually feel the universe origin of this miniature universe. It will be so delicious. The sensation itself thrills me. Sector Beast Morosa was excited. It had eaten other sector beasts in the past, and the process was a fiesta. However, the smell of the universe origin in front him made him crave for more. It would be just as fantastic as eating other sector beasts. Eat. Eat. Sector Beast Morosa was yelling inside, but his brain maintained control. I can't believe the miniature universe is so delicious. According to the two slaves, there are many miniature universes, holy lands, and the original universe. I'm still very weak, and miniature universes have the weakest defense. I can swallow them much more quickly. It might take me a long time to swallow holy lands, followed by the original universe, but the origin of the original universe is limitless. This miniature universe belongs to an ordinary small universe from the first universe era, according to the map. That Milky Way horde leader is the biggest threat. As for this true god, he's very mediocre. I'll take it as my first meal. Sector Beast Morosa thought for a while. He reckoned that the master of the miniature universe before him was weak, so he decided to swallow the miniature universe. This video will end here.